Welcome back, everyone. You've given us a really interesting stack of materials this time, sending us back to, well, a specific moment in TV history. A standalone mystery I think you'll find pretty captivating. We're focusing today on the X-Files episode, Syzygy. It's from the 3rd season.
Ah, yes, a Monster of the Week episode. That means we get to really sink our teeth into one self-contained story, you know? Bit of a break from the big alien conspiracy stuff.
Exactly. So if you need a quick reminder, or maybe you haven't seen this one, the basic idea is Mulder and Scully head to this small-town comedy in New Hampshire. There's been a string of really disturbing murders.
And the early word is, it's something dark, like a satanic cult is behind it all. That's the initial theory floating around.
Yeah, and that ties into the era, right? This first aired, well, sources differ slightly, maybe January 12th, maybe January 26th, 1996.
Right around then, mid-90s. And that whole satanic panic idea still had some, cultural weight back then. It wasn't entirely out of left field for people to jump to that conclusion.
Absolutely. But our mission here today is to go a bit deeper. We want to unpack what actually happened in comedy, look at the weird astronomical thing at the heart of it.
To Syzygy itself.
Right. And also touch on some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, the making of it, and how fans actually reacted at the time. So, ready to jump into the weirdness of Syzygy.
Let's do it, starting with those strange events in comedy.
Okay, so the episode kicks off pretty grimly. There's a high school eulogy happening.
Yeah, these kids are mourning a friend who they think was killed by the satanic cult. But even right away, something feels off, a little bit strange.
Then we meet Terry Roberts and Margie Kleingen. They hitch a ride with this local kid, Jay Boom Da Boom.
Such a 90s name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ryan Reynolds really early on, just a tiny part.
It is. So Terry and Margie, they spin this weird story for Boom about the cult needing a blonde virgin sacrifice, which, makes him drive off the main road.
And not surprisingly, it ends badly for Boom. Next day, he's found dead, hanged from a cliff.
But the really chilling part is seeing Terry and Margie right after, near the cliff. They're just giggling, picking flowers, totally detached.
Yeah, it's super unsettling. It signals immediately that this isn't just a straightforward cult story. Something else is going on with these two.
Then Mulder and Scully show in comedy, and even their arrival feels a bit disjointed. They're actually arguing about the directions.
Which is unusual for them, right? I mean, they have disagreements, but bickering like that right off the bat, it kind of sets a weird mood for the whole episode. That was intentional, apparently.
Yeah, so they meet Detective Angela White, and then they're at Boom's funeral. The atmosphere is already tense. Everyone's whispering about this cult.
And then, just to dial up the drama, the high school principal, Bob Spitz, crashes the funeral.
Oh yeah, he's practically raving about Satanism, just completely over the top.
Like a caricature of the whole panic.
And then the coffin starts smoking and catches fire. It's just bizarre.
You can just picture Scully standing there, skepticism meter hitting 11.
Totally. And later, when they interview Terry and Margie separately, the girls tell almost identical stories, like word-for-word cliches about baby sacrifices.
Scully picks up on that immediately. She points out how those stories were common during the satanic panic, but never actually backed up by real evidence. She's trying to bring some logic to it.
But then, Mulder and Detective White find this weird burn mark on Boom's body. It looks like a horned beast or something.
And here's the kicker. Scully looks right at it.
And sees nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's a key moment, isn't it? It suggests maybe perception itself is being warped here, not just events.
Yeah, it blurs that line. Is it mass hysteria or some genuine external force? Mulder, maybe feeling Scully's doubt, talks more with Detective White, and they end up visiting Madame Zarinka.
The town astrologist.
Right, and she gives this totally different explanation. Not Satan, but a rare planetary alignment. Mars, Uranus, and Mercury all lined up.
Suddenly it shifts from like occult horror to cosmic influence. Still weird, still X-Files, but different.
And from there, things just get stranger. Terry and Margie get jealous of another girl, Brenda. Their sort of negative energy seems to cause the basketball player, Scott, to get crushed by retracting bleachers. Accidentally, but,
Yeah, it feels like they willed it somehow. And you see Scully getting more and more frustrated with the case, with Mulder hanging out with Detective White. The tension's building.
Then the town mob, led by Principal Spitz, goes looking for a mass grave. Because of course they do.
Whipped into a frenzy, and they find a bag of bones.
Spitz immediately declares it's a sacrificed baby. Case closed, Satan did it.
But no. Turns out they're dog bones.
Mr. Tippy, Terry's dead dog. It's darkly funny, but it just shows how irrational the town has become.
Right. And after that whole mess, Mulder makes some joke and Scully just snaps, threatens to go back to D.C. Their dynamic is really strained.
Amidst all this, we see Terry and Margie just celebrating their birthday, like normal teenagers. It's a weird contrast.
And Brenda tries using a Ouija board, maybe just for fun, asking about boys.
And it spells out Satan. Ooh. Just feeding the fire.
Which leads right into Brenda's death. Terry and Margie lock her in the bathroom, and she's killed by shattering glass. It's brutal, a reminder that real violence is happening under all the weirdness.
Then Detective White shows up at Mulder's motel room, finds her cat's collar in his stuff, which is odd, never really explained.
Yeah, just another strange detail. And then she makes a move on him, but Scully calls right then about Brenda. Awkward.
Super awkward. Then Terry and Margie try to talk to Scott, Brenda's boyfriend, after she dies. He rejects them, they argue, and bam, another accident. This time with the garage door.
It's like their anger just manifests externally, deadly temper tantrums almost.
So Mulder and Scully finally question them separately again, and what happens?
Predictably, they each blame the other, pointing fingers, trying to save themselves.
But then the climax hits at the police station.
Yeah.
And it's absolute chaos.
Oh, yeah. The whole building starts shaking, furniture's sliding around, guns are going off by themselves.
It's the powers, whatever they are, going haywire. Full-on poltergeist activity.
Until Mulder has this idea, maybe a bit out there, but hey, and locks Terry and Margie in a cell together.
And just like that, at midnight,
Yeah.
it stops.
Yeah.
The shaking, the powers, everything, they just collapse, sobbing.
Like the alignment passed, the energy dissipated. Done.
And everyone else, the mob, Detective White, they finally see it was the girls. But Principal spits.
Still blaming Satan, he just won't let it go. It's kind of darkly funny, his stubbornness.
The episode ends with Mulder and Scully driving off, still kind of bickering. Scully even runs the stop sign and tells Mulder to shut up.
Yeah, it's such an abrupt, unsettling ending for them. Really shows how much the case messed with them, too. Not just the town.
So that's the story. But why did it happen? Let's talk about the Syzygy itself.
Right, the title. So Syzygy is a real astronomical term. It just means basically 3 celestial bodies lining up, like the sun, earth, and moon during an eclipse.
And Madame Zarinka, the astrologist in the episode, she's the one who explains it. She says this specific alignment of Mars, Uranus, and Mercury is causing all the chaos.
Yeah, like it's unleashing some kind of cosmic energy, throwing everyone off balance, making them erratic, even violent. It's the episode's explanation for everything.
And she specifically mentions people born on January 12, 1979, Terry and Margie's birthday.
Exactly. She says they're like conduits for this energy because other alignments happened on their birthday too, making them extra sensitive to this particular syzygy, something that only happens once every 84 years, apparently.
It adds this layer of, like, cosmic destiny to the whole thing. It's definitely pseudoscience within the show's world, but it provides the reason, you know, the why for all the bizarre stuff in comedy.
It's the X-File explanation.
Ah.
Okay, so should we dig into some of the behind-the-scenes stories and how people felt about this one back in '96?
Yeah, let's do that, because there's some interesting stuff there. First off, it was written by Chris Carter himself, the creator.
And directed by Rob Bowman, who did a ton of great episodes. But interestingly, Bowman apparently wasn't a huge fan of this one.
Really? Why not?
Well, he said it was tough to make. It was filmed right before Christmas break, so the schedule was rushed. He felt it ended up feeling a bit confused, maybe. Like the characters didn't fully get what was going on.
Huh. But he did like the banter.
Yeah, he still appreciated the Mulder and Scully back and forth, even if he wasn't thrilled with the episode overall.
Which brings us to that bickering, especially about the driving. That wasn't just random.
No. Apparently, that came directly from fans noticing Mulder always drove. Gillian Anderson supposedly brought it up too. It was a running thing they decided to poke fun at in the script.
That's brilliant, like a little nod to the audience.
And remember Mulder's joke about Scully's little feet not reaching the pedals?
Yeah.
That apparently came from a joke Chris Carter made at a fan convention. Another little inside reference.
Huh. Okay, what else? There was something about a movie clip.
Oh, right. Originally, they wanted to show clips from A Clockwork Orange on the TVs in the background of a scene.
Ooh, that would have been dark.
Yeah, but it cost too much to license, so they swapped it for Keystone Cops footage instead.
The silent comedy. That's a different vibe.
Totally. But Carter apparently thought later it actually worked better, fit the kind of chaotic, absurd tone of the episode more than Kubrick would have.
Interesting. And wasn't this one of the rare times Scully smokes?
Yes, very rare. You see her with a cigarette? Maybe just to show how stressed she was by everything happening in comedy, pushed her out of her usual comfort zone.
Makes sense. And then there's the line that really stuck.
Sure, fine, whatever.
Yes. That deadpan delivery. It just clicked with fans, didn't it?
Totally. Became a huge catchphrase, ended up on merchandise. It's like the ultimate Scully eye-roll response to the universe's weirdness.
But even with that great line, the episode itself got mixed reviews, right?
Definitely mixed. Entertainment Weekly liked it, praised the dark humor and the villains and the Mulder-Scully dynamic, surprisingly.
But others weren't so keen.
No. Cinefantastique called the humor flat, felt it missed the mark on being scary. Robert Shearman, in his X-Files book, didn't rate it very highly compared to other funny ones like War of the Copperfedges.
And a big part of the criticism, from what I gather, was that hostility between Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, that seemed to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Critics and fans. Some found it genuinely unpleasant. Hard to stomach was a phrase used. They felt the alignment affecting them so negatively wasn't fun to watch.
Chris Carter was apparently a bit disappointed by that reaction.
Seems so. He felt maybe people missed the satire, especially the commentary on the whole satanic panic thing. He thought the humor and the point about mass hysteria got lost for some viewers.
And you also had the fans who were, let's say, invested in a potential Mulder-Scully romance.
Exactly. Seeing them at each other's throats like that was probably the last thing the shippers wanted to see. So that likely added to the divisive feelings about it.
Still, it pulled in decent numbers, right? Over 16 million viewers watched it originally.
Oh yeah, it got a good rating. People definitely watched, even if they argued about it afterward. And that satire element, lampooning the satanic panic through characters like Principal Spitz, is pretty undeniable when you look back.
And one last fun fact, that high school name.
Grover Cleveland Alexander High School.
Which was a nod to
A Jeopardy. Question David Duchovny got wrong about the baseball player. Just a little Easter egg for hardcore fans.
Love those little details. Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive on Syzygy. It's definitely a memorable one, if a bit polarizing.
For sure. You've got the bizarre events supposedly driven by planets aligning, this really unsettling look at teenage cruelty amplified by something, and then all the behind-the-scenes drama and the split fan reaction. It's a fascinating piece of the X-Files puzzle.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something a bit unsettling to chew on. People believed in astrology and celestial influences for centuries, and look, we're not saying it's science.
Right, not endorsing it.
But considering that persistent human idea, does this episode just use it as a plot device for a story about hysteria and scapegoating? Or does it maybe, accidentally or not, tap into something deeper? That anxiety we sometimes feel about forces outside our control, shaping how we see things, how we act.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much are we influenced by things we don't fully understand, whether it's cosmic alignments or media frenzies or just the weird energy of a small town having a very bad couple of days?
A question that kind of hangs in the air, much like the weirdness in comedy. Thanks again for sharing these materials and joining us for this mysterious and nostalgic trip back.
My pleasure. It was fun revisiting this strange corner of the X-Files universe.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep digging deeper.